You know, as Republicans, we're lucky. This fall, we're going to win one for the Gipper. But our opponents, they're going to lose one with the flipper. I thank God. I thank God that on September 11th, we had a president who didn't wring his hands and wonder what America had done wrong to deserve this attack. I thank God we had a president who understood that America was attacked, not for what we had done wrong, but for what we do right. The president took strong action to protect our country. That sounds like something any president would do. How I wish that were so. You know the history. Osama bin Laden declared war on America, and then came the attacks. The First World Trade Center, the embassies, the USS Cole. Hundreds dead, thousands injured. How I wish the administration at that time, in those years, had done something. How I wish they had moved to protect us, but they didn't do it. On September 11th, Al-Qaeda attacked again, but this time they made a terrible mistake. There's one thing they didn't bank on. They didn't bank on George W. Bush. He didn't run from history. He didn't run from history, he faced it. George Bush raised our spirits. He came to New York and stood on that smoking heap, looked at our heroes and said, I can hear you, and soon the whole world will hear you. He declared a new doctrine. The United States would find and remove terrorists, whoever they are, and wherever they are. And if you harbor them, there will be hell to pay. He mobilized our forces and went to Afghanistan, where the United States fought and won a war. Al-Qaeda camps were pulverized, the Taliban deposed. George Bush protected our country, and he protects it still. With supreme guts and rightness, President Bush went into Iraq. The U.S. had asked for peace, went to the UN time and again, asked Saddam to step aside, but Saddam would not be moved. So President Bush moved him. Our American troops, our citizen soldiers, and the coalition of the willing moved him. And soon a dictator who had used poison gas on his own people was found cowering in the earth. Some people have called this an abuse of power. I call it progress. There are those who still say that there was no reason to liberate Iraq. They ask about weapons of mass destruction. On September 11th, in New York, we learned that in the hands of a monster, a box cutter is a weapon of mass destruction. And Saddam Hussein was a monster, a walking, talking weapon of mass destruction. It is good for the world that he is gone. Where does Senator Kerry stand on all this? In Boston, he said that in the future, Any attack would be met with a swift and certain response. Well, respectfully, Senator, that's not good enough. We've already been attacked time and again, and President Bush understands we can't just wait for the next attack. We have to go after them in their training camps, in their hiding places, in their spider holes before they have the chance to attack us again. Senator Kerry says America should go to war, not when it wants to go to war, but when it has to go to war. Well, Senator, the firefighters and cops who ran into those burning towers and died on September 11th didn't want to go to war. They were heroes in a war they didn't even know existed. America did not choose this war, but we have a president who chooses to win it. This is no ordinary time. This is no ordinary time. The stakes could not be higher. Fate has handed our generation a grave new threat to freedom. And fortune has given us a leader who will defend that freedom. This is no ordinary time. And George W. Bush is no ordinary leader. I'm a New Yorker. We've got a lot of feeling deep down, though we don't always show it. But let me ask you, what is this election about if it isn't about our love of freedom? A love for all we are and can be, for that old Liberty Bell in Philadelphia, for Constitution Hall, for that island, Ellis Island, where the whole world's people came to share in our freedom. And love, too, for that statue in New York's great Grand Harbor, that noble statue that greeted the lonely and seemed by our very grandeur to be telling them, take heart, it's going to be better here. We had to close her down after September 11th, but we opened her again a few weeks ago. That was a good day. And now she stands. And now she stands, tall and immovable, lighting the way to dreams, that symbol of hope, that Statue of Liberty. Ladies and gentlemen, on this night and in this fight, there is another who holds high that torch of freedom. He is one of those men God and faith somehow lead to the fore in times of challenge, and he is lighting the way to better times, a safer land, and hope. He is my friend. He is our president, President George W. Bush.